winter racing in the Christmas season. We're off. It's another Monday, and it's Monday Malarkey, of course, as we head into December. Only 2 races left in this series. There will be a race on Christmas Day for you, but I'm not including any points in it. So this is the penultimate race in this series. As I say, there will be a race on Christmas Day to complete the weeks, but there'll be no points awarded. And if you do fancy a ride after you've had plenty to drink at lunchtime, you're welcome to join us. It's on the velodrome. It'll be nice and flat, and just burn off a few calories before you get into the evening drinking session. Anyway, we're looking forward to this one. Quite a lot to play for. We do think that the one battle that's really, really interesting here is probably the ladies' teams. And I think there's a little bit of a battle between West London ladies and Twickenham ladies. 451 plays, 421. Twickenham CC ladies have, Gail Robinson has won the last 2 races. I think Gail and Lisa West are in for Twickenham tonight. And West London have got Maria and Eileen in. So I think that'll be quite an interesting tussle. Wouldn't be surprised if Twickenham made up a few points, but probably not enough to take them up to the top. But that is very, very close, and there'll be one race to go after this. Looking at the main classifications, though, Zeb Norman is the man in control, but Eugene Korolov is not far behind, probably a little bit out of Jorgen van Beur's reach. But I think everybody now competing for the podium places. John Sammer in 4th, and I must say that John Sammer has a race on Thursday evening on indieVelo, and you should look out for that. And I'll remember the name in a minute, or maybe John can put it up on screen and I'll remember. But John has got a race. I think the Pokemotion guy's running that on Thursday evening. On indieVelo, of course, about 7:30, I think. So, I forgot to mention it last time. So, Ratio Racing, not far ahead of Electric Spirit. So, Zeb Norman, I think, pushing for points in the team as well. Race 3 are probably a little bit too far off, but they could be caught by Cycle Club Denmark. We've got a lot of riders in tonight, so look out for the Denmark guys. They could well be on the route to getting 3rd place there. A minute to go, but let's quickly have a look at the course today. And let's see what we've got. We only got a minute. So, this is right around the coast, so it's going to be pretty flat. That's not to say there's no undulations. You can see just above the map, there's a grey line. That is the profile of the course. Just above the word lap in the middle of the screen, there is a slight undulation. But really and truly, over 16 kilometres, they're not going to be troubled by climbs. I expect the pressure to be put on by the fast guys at the front with a view to stretching and breaking down the pelotons into group. 30 seconds to go. Let's have a look what it looks like and how many riders we've got on the line this week. There are 81 it says there. So that is a new record for Monday Malarkey. Looking resplendent. 18 seconds to go. Everybody teed up and ready to go. Eugene Korolov in there. Eileen Davison, Maria Witzke, Gail Robinson and Lisa West, the Twickenham ladies. We've got some riders with no team, but others, I think James Melville and Alistair McAlpine, not quite sure what I haven't set up a team for Glasgow United, but they haven't. And off they go. Remember, the white thing at the front is the pacer. There's a neutralised start. Do not pass the pacer or your brakes will be slammed on, and somebody right up the front just got that. Somebody else is about to get that right now. There go the brakes, and they get pinged back. Somebody else about to fall flat now. You need to sit behind the pacer in the first kilometre. Quite a few West London riders making that mistake, and they should really know better. Too many people going past the pacer pot. I'm not sure what's going on. And there we have another one getting kicked back. They work it out in the end. I wouldn't worry too much because if you get chucked back at this point, it's not too bad. If you work it out and don't get too far back by the time you get through to the Flam Blanc, the 2 white plumes come out the side of the road, you'll be all right. The second thing is, remember that in these races, organisers can set their own versions of this up. My pacer starts at 30, and by the time he gets to the Flam Blanc, we'll be doing 60, which I don't think any of these riders will be doing. So really and truly, as you get up to the Flam Blanc, you shouldn't have a problem. And somewhere between 0 and 1 kilometre, you get the freedom to ride at your own pace. And I think we can see now as they go under the banner, it says lap 1 because it's a lead-in. But you can see the white plumes. And once we pass there, it doesn't matter if you catch the bot or not, but I don't think anybody will at that. You can see the gap that's left. So as I say, it's deliberately set up like that. It is on the advisory posts that we put around social media and on our website. These riders do it every week and they get called out every week. One of the problems for them is, of course, they haven't got brakes. So if you're shooting up to catch up with somebody in front and then the momentum carries you forward, you are going to have the problem that you can't brake to stop yourself getting level with the bot. Like I say, though, I don't think for most people it's too much of a problem. If it happens in the first 500 metres, you should be able to get back on. And in the second 500 metres of the neutralised start, the bot should be going too fast for the group. So what it does, in case you're intrigued as to why we bother with this, it stops that frenetic start on the line. It gives everybody a time to sort of go a chance to get off. Tim Cummins in second place there, just down the road from me. Before George Santos just in front of him. One of the, I say ECKD riders. ECKD have sub-teams, and it's Vaton, the team that Michael Avard is running for. Fleming Back, though, is a full ECKD rider. He'll be looking for points today. Peter Austin in there for OTR. James Melville, Glasgow United. Although I'm never sure why James doesn't set up a team, because they do it phenomenally well in these series. Marshall Avard is in the lead at the moment, that rider. I know most European countries have VAT as a tax, although it might be in a different order. For example, in France is TVA, but I don't think anybody's sort of going to win any friends by being a taxman, are they? Evan Oystensen is up in the lead. He's got David Blodgett just in front of him for RST. Jesper Rayberg, another one of the Danish riders. Here's David Blodgett now, winning out front. That's quite an eye-catching kit, isn't it? I like that one. I have to say that indieVelo really, I like that one. Reminds me a little bit, perhaps not from the back. Actually, it's even better from the back. I like that one. I must say I was going to say from the side, it reminds me of a Harlequins rugby kit, and I don't suppose there's too many of you outside the UK will understand what one of those looks like. Fantastic kit, well done. He's got a second on Jesper Rayberg, and Jesper Rayberg just moving out of the way for Evan Oystensen. Roman Hubli in there now, the Slovenian as well. Johan Peru now for the Union Cycliste Tonnaise, down there just to the east of Geneva in France, in the eastern section of France there. And there's quite a bunch here. You can see all the way back. They haven't really made too many inroads into dropping too many people. Still a lot of riders. We've got 80 on the road, so somebody's dropped out clearly. John Samet taking a turn on the front for Pokemotion. Don't forget he's got a race on Thursday night, so have a look on Thursday night. I'm going to really bug me now what it's called, because I should know. And I'm so guilty, because I promised John I'd mention it last week and didn't. Absolutely shocking. So we have Richard Cordova for West London on the front at the moment. Nice to see one of my jerseys on there. I say my jerseys, my club's jerseys, I should say. Richard from the West Country, riding for West London. Power of 317, enjoying a spell on the front here. Rides in our TTT team. Just 1 week left of that, I believe. And then the finals. So look at that, the OTR TTT series going into the playoff finals very, very soon in the run-up to Christmas. Loads going on. Lovely side view at the top there. A couple of West London jerseys in there and one on the front as well. We're getting a lot of coverage, Damon. Thank you very much. Great camera work. It's an OTR rider. No, he's not on the front. Yes, it is. It's an OTR rider in second place, isn't it? It's I'm just trying to see who it is. It's Brett Smith off the front in this group now, actually. No, this is sorry, I beg your pardon. We're in a group further back, aren't we? This is a different group. This is 60th and 62nd position. So these riders in groups further back. I'm not paying attention. I beg your pardon. So plenty of groups. So if you look on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see that there's plenty of groups, and we like this. If you look at this little group, bearing in mind it's reasonably flat, they could all work together and have their own little sub-race, and that's what we kind of like. We prefer not to grade our races. Nothing wrong with grading your races. We're not judgmental about that. Our choice is that we let everybody in, and it will self-select groups naturally. So on the front now, Roman Hubli, he's just ahead of Zeb Norman. Zeb Norman now going for the series, the American rider, but best not to sit on the front all day long, I would think, Zeb. He will push out at the front there. And we've got, I see Tim Cummins zooming through there. Still Zeb Norman on the front, and Tim taking a little turn ahead of Alistair McAlpine, the Glasgow United rider. Evan Oystensen in there still. Evan Oystensen. Henrik Oberg, the Swede, for Electric Spirit. And they're not out of the hunt yet. They had a fantastic start to the season. Tim Humpton, I think, did 6 races and went for the 6 of the best. We haven't seen him. Just look at the tailback here. This is some pressure on the front. This is going to cause splits, and this is how the front riders do this. Christian Edge now is third. We're looking at George Santos, who's 38th at the moment, a little bit back. And in the group, we've got Stu Thorne for West London, Ingmar van Beers, one of Gail's brothers, Gail Robinson out there. And I don't know where Eileen Davidson is, but Gail Robinson has run the last 2 ladies' races. If she gets this one, that will draw Twickenham ever closer to West London in the ladies' league. We need to see where Eileen Davidson is. I think she was on the start line for sure. Rudy Garcia for UCT, French rider. According to the flag, Garcia doesn't particularly sound French to me, but it's hey-ho. Union Cycliste Tonnelaise as well, so not even on the French-Spanish border or anything there, as we see some of the other groups. Now, Eileen Davidson is there. She's 57th, so I think she is behind Gail Robinson. This will be good. So it'll also rest on the Lisa West, Maria Vitsky battle further back and see who does best out of that one. I probably won't have the results while we're online, but you can always pick up the results. If all goes well, it might take me 10 minutes to get the results on westlondoncycling.com. The other day there was a little glitch and it took me a little bit longer, but normally maybe 10 to 15 minutes after the race, just go and have a look, and I will have put the results and all the latest standings up on westlondoncycling.com. There's a menu down the side of the page and you can click on it. It says current standings. It's fairly obvious. We're all adults, we know what we do. Daniel Nurschber in there as well. Great to see Daniel, always is. As we look at one of the other groups here, one of these small groups working together. This is the best way to do it. Natalia Zaitseva, she's doing really, really well in the ladies. She's got Lisa West just behind her. She's 67th out of the 79 on the course now. And I think this is going to be a good night for Twickenham ladies. It is looking good, isn't it? It looks like their 2 riders are slightly ahead of the 2 West London riders. And that's so that is very, very good. And it's saying Natalia Zaitseva from Russia now also doing really, really well in the ladies' championship. So great to see the ladies out racing in force as ever. Migu Canada in there, Yuri Kulin as well towards the back of the race. 79 riders still in it, and we've got 10 kilometres to go. We've done 9. 40 kph, pretty decent speed, but it is a flat course. And if you look in the top right hand corner, you can see the little arrow pointing sort of south westerly. That's the wind direction. It's 5 kilometres per hour, so they've got a bit of a tailwind. Perhaps not now. The arrow's moved sideways as we see Zeb Norman pulling away, Tim Cummins in his wake, but a little gap there of a second just opening up. I don't think that will hold. 9.5 kilometres to go in this 16 kilometre race. There is plenty to play out yet. You need to stay in the group if you're going to have a chance. Zeb Norman in the orange and white kit. He's ahead of John Samet. Don't forget Pokemotion running that event Thursday evening on indieVelo. Hopefully John will put some feelers out for that, and we might remember that. If Nick Giles, if you're watching, can you remind me what it's called, please? I feel so guilty. It hasn't been a good day. I've been a bit busy and just got in before the race. I meant to look it up. OTR rider there, Clive Byham, is currently 46th out of the 79 riders on the course, which is great. Gordon Jackson just behind him. Gordon Jackson, the legend, 2 seconds behind. We haven't got him on screen. Gordon Jackson. He is a permanent fixture. Oh, they got the split. Now, I don't believe, there's a debate on this, as to whether it's better to go north or south on the split. I think it depends on which group you're in. Now, we had a little discussion on WhatsApp today about this, and someone said that they rode a load of bot races today. The people on the bottom won them all. Now, I've been on them where the people on the top do better. And I really think it is about the group that you choose. Now, you look here and you think, okay, well, the guys on the bottom are slightly ahead. But they get a slight descent here, which boosts the ones at the top. And look, it all comes together like it never split in the first place. I hope nobody got dropped off there. But always makes interesting racing. And a lot of this has been thought through. John Samet in the orange and black for Pokemotion now out the front. Tim Cummins still persistently up there. But it's Rudy Garcia now off the front, the French rider with the Spanish sounding name. Jan van der Linden for Pokemotion on your screen now, 37th. Jan from the Netherlands. Again, another one of these riders that's been with us for so long. Ingmar van Beers just behind, 5 seconds behind him. He's with Denis Vucic at the moment, another Slovenian rider. Gail Robinson quite a bit away ahead of them. She's having a good run at the moment as we go through one of those barriers. Not anything to do with our race because it's got nothing lit up on the box, the information box hanging from there. Rob Miller, we haven't seen Rob for a while. Wonderful guy from the northeast of the United States and very, very much integral to R3R. Haven't seen Rob for a while. He is one of these people that contributes a lot to the scene, and it's a pleasure to have R3R with us on this race. Great club. Always good to see those R3R jerseys. The blue tops with the red and white and the black shorts. And well, who do we see going off the front? It's an ECKD shirt, isn't it? That red with that white stripe. You see that everywhere in the Danish flag colours, not in the shape of a cross. It's got that hoop around the middle. Rasmus Feldbull, notorious for going off the front. 450 watts just then. Dropped down a little bit. Cadence of 91, 102. That's pretty fast. He's doing 46 kph, and he hasn't actually even got a tailwind here. They're turning a little bit. One of the things I always say about these coastal routes is they do go in and out around the headlands and in the inlets, so you're constantly changing direction, and therefore the wind can be behind you and then against you within a very, very short time. Nevertheless, it's Daniel Nurschberg for Pedalers in the bright orange, one of the big colour choices. I was told a few months ago by a lady in a bike shop that green is the big colour. I think if she came and watched these races, she'd know that orange is the choice. Look, the Pedalers have got it. Ted Norman's got it for Electric Spirit. Ratio have always had it, haven't they? I haven't seen too many Ratio riders in this yet. Hopefully they're in there, but yes, we have Matt Hammond's in there, so that's good. Matt Hammond in there for Ratio in this group. And first is Henrik Oberg, the Swede. He's riding for Electric Spirit as well. Electric Spirit still in the hunt. Had that great start, and it's one of the Glasgow United riders going off the front. It's James Melville, followed by Christian Edge. Christian Edge now, and James Melville. Nicky Højgaard, go Felice Active. All right, Kel Sonson, Felice Active. That's one of the teams, isn't it? And I don't know what they do, but I like Felice Active. It's a great name, isn't it? Sounds like it's a pro team, doesn't it? Probably doesn't mean that in Swedish, I don't know, or Danish. But anyway, Felice, it's Danish, isn't it? Evan Oyster's and Matt Hammond in there, as we see. Per Soderberg, I think I just saw in that group. I did. Christian Edge, we've mentioned. Per Soderberg for Sweden, riding for OTR, of course. This bunch is still quite healthy. We can see the Ratio Racing jersey in there now of Matt Hammond, just being passed by. He's next to one of the OTR riders in the green and white, and that's Per Soderberg, the OTR rider. This group's still strong. It's not broken that much. We still have 79 riders in the race. ECKD here. This is, we're just following one of the ECKD riders through. It's Rasmus Feldbull, I think. Tim Cummins on his wheel there for Westerly. And you can see the black and orange jerseys there now of, the Ratio one in the middle next to the ECKD rider. And then you've got the Pocomotion ones just around him. And it's Rudy Garcia in there for the Union Cycliste Tonnonnaise. And it's quite an international mix here, isn't there? John Sammer and Matt Hammond representing the UK. Rob Miller in there still for the USA. Roman Hubli for Slovenia. And what a country that is for cycling. Apart from the guys at the top of the world standings, even when you come to these races, people like Roman adding so much to the occasion. Pleasure to have them along. Fleming back and the Danes with 3 riders in that top 10. Well, perhaps not anymore. Evan Oystensen, of course, from Norway. And I think we've mentioned everybody else in there at the moment. Johan Peru, another one from the Union Cycliste Tonnonnaise, riding for France there. And Union Cycliste Tonnonnaise putting out 3 riders, I think, tonight. And that's pretty impressive. We like that. And I think they're probably pretty strong riders. I mean, they've got all terrains, a flat route round Lake Geneva or straight up into mountains. They must be good, mustn't they? We're watching Henrik Osberg there sliding through. And look at that. It's a bit of a gap back to Gail Robinson. She's 10 seconds behind now, 35th out of 79. But that is a very, very good place to be. And I think she's comfortably ahead of Eileen Davidson, 42 seconds ahead of Gordon Jackson, though. I think she's going to end up doing a lot of work on her own. Will it tell? Well, she's in a fine, rich, famous form. So I think Gail Robinson's got what it takes here. It's down to 41 seconds. It's Dennis Vodistik from Slovenia, who's just behind Gordon Jackson, Ingmar van Beurs. Maybe they'll catch her. It's probably not a bad thing to get in a group, but that's quite a big gap, isn't it? What does Gail do? My impression is that Gail will just fight on, and if they catch her in the end, so be it. But remember that in the ladies' league, the way the points are scored, the first lady home gets 100 points, and then it's the gap in places back to the next lady. So if you finish 10 points ahead of the next lady, she gets 10 points less. So it's in Gail's interest to stay ahead of that bunch. If there's 10 people in that bunch, that's a 10-point differential between her and Eileen. This is quite key, and I think Gail will go for this. I think she'll try and stay out there. 40-odd seconds, I'm sure we'll look at that again. And Fiat now, Jesper Rodberg on the front, Bert Sodersberg for OTR second, Rasmus Feldpool, VCKD third, Peter Austin, the man from Leatherhead, riding for OTR. OTR, good showing in this front group at the moment. Stu Thorne in there as well. So delighted to see Stu in there. Don't tie yourself up. We've got a TTT this week, Stu. Although I think we're doing that Wednesday this week, aren't we? It's looking after my riders. It's what football managers do, isn't it? Rest their stars for cup games and things. Anyway, it's James Melville off the front. James loves to dig out the front. 2.9 kilometres to go. It's getting vital, and with that sort of distance to go, I think Gail's got a very, very good chance of staying out ahead of that group. So Eileen will need to grab every place she can. If she's in a bunch, that will be very, very interesting. It's this group whittled down a little bit. We've still got 79 riders on the road, but with 2.7 kilometres to go, I think this is as close to a big bunch sprint as we've seen in a while. I think there's some riders who will enjoy that sprint a little bit more than others, and I suspect there's a little gap appearing just in the middle there. Don't know if that's going to... it's hard to tell, isn't it? 2.3. Yeah, look, you see that gap. There is pressure on the front. They're riding at 50 kph on 0%, so there is a little bit of pressure to stay in that group. Looking at second group here, this is 32nd. This is not the leading... No, it is the leading group. I do beg your pardon. It certainly is, isn't it? And so 33 riders in that group. That's quite impressive. Gail Robinson just behind. David Jones in there. We haven't mentioned him. P London, I think that PLDN. P London, I think, so whatever that is. Maybe you can let me know, David, because I like to get them right. But this group, 33 riders. As I say, we're not used to big bunch sprints here. Usually somebody ekes it out. It's Daniel Nurschberg having a go at the moment. Roman Hubley, these riders, there's quite a few riders in here, all capable of winning a sprint finish. There's probably a few in there who will probably not relish it. My feeling is Tim off the front at the moment is probably just trying to get a gap with 1.5 kilometres to go. Sprint, he's a very strong rider. I mean, I know Tim personally. I don't think he's going to beat these guys in a sprint. And it is Grant Carruthers riding for Ratio. Grant, thanks for the message the other day. That was very useful. You can see the Flamme Rouge coming up. You can see the red plumes out of it. It's Grant Carruthers now riding for Ratio, the Norwegian. He's actually, sent me a message. He's actually from, I'm going to get this wrong now again, aren't I? He moved to Norway, and I think he was either South African or New Zealand. And he won't thank me for saying that because I should really remember. And I think he told me 2 weeks ago, and I was going to say it last week and then forgot. But Grant Carruthers moved to Norway and thoroughly enjoying it up there, he was telling me. He's probably going to get caught by the next two riders. So this is not quite a bunch sprint. Now they go round a headland here. There's 800 metres to go. You don't see the finishing line till quite late as you go around the headline. Roman Hubley now going off the front, the Slovenian. He is being chased by Rasmus Feldpool. And it's Glasgow United rider in there, James Melville as well. The Ratio rider falling back. I think that's Matt Hammond is falling back. We've got Johan Peru for Union Cycliste Tournanese. And look at this. This is Rob Miller steaming up with 480 metres to go. This is going to be the group. It's spread out. It's not going to be a mass punch sprint. This is too spread out. And look at a Pokemotion rider coming through there at the back, making a huge catch-up. But off the front, it's Ludwig Karlberg for TVFC. And he's got quite a gap now. We'll go around this headland and we'll start to see the finishing line. There it is. I don't think they can catch him, but can they? David Blodgett just behind Nick Greenhouse coming over. Nick Greenhouse, I haven't mentioned him all day. Nick Greenhouse takes second, just ahead of the Pokemotion rider. Well done, Nick. I haven't even mentioned Nick in the whole race, and he comes through and takes second like that. Well done. Great for Ratio Racing. That will be fantastic. We're now looking at a group behind. This is Oliver Duckfitz, the German. We're now looking at Gail Robinson. She's in 35th position. She's got 34 seconds in front of Dennis Vodsiger, Gordon Jackson, Ingmar van Beers, Jakob Mathiasen, Jan van der Linden, Claudio Ducati, and George Santos, Clive Byham, and Dan Cobberup. So confirmation of the results there. Ludwig Karlberg first, David Blodgett second. I thought it was Nick Greenhalgh, obviously wrong. So Nick Greenhalgh taking third and John Sammet fourth. So I beg your pardon, Nick third. James Melville fifth and Christophe Quentin sixth. Matt Hammond for Ratio Racing seventh. Ratio was two in the top seven. That'll be good for their points total. Gail now set to win the ladies' race for the third event running. And as she comes through, just 70 odd metres to go. Another resounding victory for the Twickenham lady. Well done, Gail Robinson, Gail Burkett, and well done indeed. This will really start shaking up the rankings in the ladies' team competition. So in this little group, can the five get together? It looks like they can. Maybe at least four of them anyway. And zooming by, it's Gordon Jackson at the back. And it looks like Jan van der Linden taking that. Gordon Jackson, did he just sneak ahead of the Ratio rider there? We'll have to look when the results come up. This is Frederic Foulon of Belgium riding for R3R. Same team as Rob Miller, who we mentioned earlier. And Theo Pouchin-Nebron is another one of the French riders running for, again, Union Cycliste Tournoi. So, look at it. Not quite enough. Oh dear, that was very close. That was a good chase. The R3R rider just holding on and taking the points. We're now back. Look at this group. This is what's great about all these little sprints, isn't it? We've got a nice little group here. Michael Trim, Thierry Lafitte at the front. I can't quite see who's going to cross the line for this. It looks like neither of those two, I think. We'll have to wait for the results to come up. Sorry about that. Eileen Davidson a little further back now as we go back to this group. Mike Townsend in there, Peter McDermott from Alba Rose, the Yorkshire team, going through the Flamme Rouge now. This group is quite a healthy little bunch here. Peter McDermott, let's say, for Alba Rouge, Mike Townsend, Joe Fenth and Peter McDermott, or another Alba rider. Gareth Brooks for West London, Mike Townsend, and David Buckley. Top Jimmy for West London as well. Andrew in there too. Andrew Walker, is that? No, it's not. I'm losing it now. Andre Human Laser. That's quite a good name, isn't it? Anyway, Robert Gilmore. Well done, Rob. Good to see you. Dines Bolt, Oliver Duckfitz, we've mentioned, the German. Andre Human Laser, we've mentioned. No Hugh J this week. And this is the riders in this group. Now, there's an ECKD rider coming up the back here, looking like it's going to be a bit of a threat to the rest of this group. It's Dines Bolt now. He's gone off the front. He's really going through now. They've got 260 metres to go. And Dines Bolt now ahead of Mike Townsend. But it's David Buckley chasing him down. David Buckley's got a good sprint on him, and when he's in the right mood, can he make that up? It's getting a bit too late. And I think David could even get beaten here by Joe Fenth. No, David just holds on and takes that one. Looking over at some of the results on the left while I was getting indulgent in that, 800 metres for this little group to go. Roman Hubley was 22nd, Per Soderberg and Anders Johnson for Sweden were 23rd and 24th. Tony Martin late for OTR. Didn't mention you during it, I think, Tony, but great to see you as ever, one of the stalwarts of this. Christian Edge, definitely got to mention. Richard Cordova, we know. Well done, Richard. 27th, not a bad result. 28th for Nicky Hogard, one of the Philo's active natural natafuri, whatever that means. I think that probably means natural, doesn't it? It sounds healthy anyway. Oliver Duckfitz now, the German, steaming away in this group to take 66th position. This is a strong finish as well, isn't it? 29th was Peter Austin. Stu Thorne was at 30th. Eugene Korolov way back in 31. That might dent his chances. Grant Carruthers for Ratio, 32nd. David Jones, 33rd for Palace Dinosaurs. Sounds like an old Crystal Palace team. Robert Gilmore now is going to take this one. Natalia Zaitseva just taking that probably second in the ladies. So that's, or maybe third. I'll have to double check that. I think third. Migu Canada out on his own, not competing with Maria Vitsky now. Migu in 70th of 79th. He's ahead of Andy Evans from Bushy in Hertfordshire, and PJ, one of the Twickenham men's riders, is in this little group too. It was great. West London and Twickenham riding together. We're all good friends, of course, even though we're in the same area. In fact, that's the way it should be, isn't it? Rui Miranda is Portuguese, and it's the rider we're following now. PJ now going off the front. PJ, look at that storming finish. The Frenchman who lives in West London rides for Twickenham, absolutely storming home to take the points for Twickenham men's team. Rui Miranda just taking it ahead of Migu Canada now, and behind them Andy Evans and who we got now, Harry Pooh. Lisa West for Twickenham coming in next, and I think Lisa has probably beaten Maria by a couple of places, so this will be very interesting. I think the gap between the two lead riders, Eileen Davidson and of course Gail Robinson, in the ladies competition will be very interesting. I think that ladies team competition should be very, very close by now. Maria, though, needs to finish just to pick up the points. She's ahead of Soren Bon, who is still racing and is 46 seconds behind. And so Soren and Maria will finish. And he's 78th. The 79 riders on there. One, of course, is the bot. So that's 78 finishes. Not bad. 80 starters. Only 2 people fill out. ECKD, they do Wednesdays on indieVelo. If you're looking for a good series to go and participate in, make sure you do this. Wednesdays at 7 p.m. UK time. That will be slightly later at 8 p.m. I'm sure in Central Europe and probably in Denmark. But look out for that. Wednesday evenings. Coming your way soon as well, Tour du Monde. We saw an advert at the beginning. Make sure you're up for this. This takes place in January. The OTR-TTTs won't be around in January, so this will kind of fill that void for you. 12 stages, and we all know this competition from the RGT days. You know it's going to be good. It's got the OTR badge on it, and therefore it will be good with a capital G, of course. Well, that's been absolutely fantastic. Just looking at Maria coming in now. She's got 2.2k to go. I'm pretty sure she will finish. And there's, I say, plenty going on. We'll be back next Monday for the last race of the series. We look at the results again today. Missed out David Blodgett, didn't I? I thought Nick had pinched second, but he didn't. He finished third. Ludwig Karlberg, a phenomenal win for indieVelo Founders Club. David Blodgett for restart. Great result. Well done, David. Nick Greenhouse just pipping John Sammet. Don't forget Thursday evening, look on your indieVelo races coming up, because John Sammet's got one coming up. James Melville settling for 5th, but he's always in the top 10, isn't he? Christophe Quentin, the man from down in just off the Massif Central near Clermont-Ferrand in the Rhone Valley. Just beaten Matt Hammond for Ratio Racing, but Ratio Racing won't be disappointed. 2 in the top 7. That is good for their team classification assault. Stefan, the German, probably didn't give you enough mention. Stay, sorry about that. Is 8th. Matthias Bergfist, again, probably didn't get enough mentions in that crowded peloton. 9th for Sweden. Zeb Norman settling for 10th. I don't know if Zeb will be too disappointed with that. I mean, it still keeps him in contention. I think the other thing is that Eugene Korolov was a lot further back. So I think Zeb will maintain his lead in the series, but it'll all be up. Give me, let's say, about 10-15 minutes after I leave the air. As soon as I can get the results from indieVelo, I will put them up on the website. So the next stage is this one. Look at that. It's the Flat 8. We will be enjoying a couple of laps of that. Slightly bumpy, you can see from the profile. Looking forward to that next week. It will decide the series, and there are trophies, and they will be sent to the winners of the series. I do need to go and order them. That's a job for tomorrow, I think. So let's, I don't know if we can still see Maria just coming home to make sure she gets home, but there she is, 1.1k to go. I think we can talk through this. And I think we would like to say that Maria's husband had a cycling accident very recently and has been severely severely hurt and is been in hospital. We haven't seen her for a couple of weeks because she's been at the hospital by his bedside. It looks like he's coming through it all, which is great news. But I think everybody at indieVelo and whichever clubs you ride for will all join in wishing Maria best with that. Anyway, so I think we'll just watch Maria finish. And I think Soren's only 42 seconds behind, but I think we're going to assume that Soren finishes. Just 700 metres for Maria. As I say, I think you'll all like to join in wishing her very, very well. Just looking at some of the results while we're going through this. PJ from Twickenham with that phenomenal sprint at the end to take 70th from Rui Miranda. Nicky Kanda trailing at 72nd just behind them, not really contesting it. Andy Evans, the same. Harry Parr is also in there. The Austrian team, TDH. Great to see Austria in there. Lisa West picking up some points for Twickenham. That will be 4 points better than I think. Let me look. Since she finished 75th, so she'll probably get a couple more points than. It's so close. It's so close. I think it's only 2 points that Lisa will get on Maria. So we really need to go back and calculate the difference between Eileen and Gail to see how much damage has been done to the West London lead. Going into the last race, that could be phenomenally exciting, couldn't it? Absolutely exciting. The first two ladies in the team count, so even if you load up the race with even more riders, better be good ones. Maria coming home now, and well done, Maria, for coming home, just picking up the points for the team. And I certainly think if she hadn't have done, I think Twickenham would have been on course for the title, but we have next week to look forward to, and it's going to be mega exciting. All the standings will be up very, very shortly on westlondoncycling.com. ZMS, as ever, providing all the production and coverage, and don't they do a superb job? There's nobody better, is there? ZMS, it's the one to go to. We're delighted that they cover our races. We're delighted to chip in and be part of it, and it's so much fun. But overall, really, it's the contestants that help really make it, isn't it? I mean, ultimately, it's you guys that make the racing. We can put them on, we can set up the conditions, but ultimately, the race is out there. And to me, it doesn't matter whether you finish first or 79th. You're a malarkey rider. Well done. We shall see you next Monday for the big one, the final of Series 2. Can't wait. It's going to be marvellous. See you soon. Thanks very much, Damon at ZMS. Absolutely splendid again. See you next time.